Switching gears, Democrat Joe Biden, he takes a swipe at blue-collar workers. Learn how to program, he says. Listen to what the presidential candidate has to say.
He asked me toward the end of our administration, Joe's going to determine what the jobs of the future are. Anybody who could go down 300 to 3,000 feet in a mine, sure and hell can learn how to program as well. Anybody who can throw coal into a furnace can learn how to program, for God's sake.
Totally patronizing. We had Charles Payne on earlier, and he said that this was worse than Hillary's deplorable moment, that this really is an insult to the intelligence of so many of these coal miners. And again, Joe Biden coming from an administration that wanted to shut down the coal industry, also block the pipelines. Donald Trump comes in with the Republicans, and they change all that. And now what? We're the #1 producers of energy in the world.
Charles Payne was on earlier, and he was very emphatic. Listen to Charles.
Part of this discussion also, he talked about the reason he knows that coal miners can do this is in Detroit. They wired Detroit up, and when Detroit fell apart, no one knew how to fix it. So they took a bunch of black women, put them in a community college. He said his liberal friends told him it wouldn't work. And now they got the lights back on. So the idea is, in Joe Biden's mind, is if these black women can do it, anyone can do it. It's hurtful, though. It's hurtful to dismiss the intellect of those miners, the intellect of people of color. It's so despicable. In 2017, the average miner job was $100,000. Folks who work with oil and gas, those roughnecks, $165,000. The average computer programming job, you know what that pays? $84,000. So he's essentially saying, I'm going to take someone making $165,000 and we're going to just retrain them.
And, you know, an observation as a reporter who's been in a coal mine in West Virginia and in a coal mine in Ohio, you know, it's not just the dollars. This is a way of life for many of these people for generations. And as coal is trying to make a comeback under President Trump and as a form of energy, they see an opportunity. They don't want to be told yet again that what their families have done for generations is something dirty or something that shouldn't be respected. And so Vice President Biden has to be very careful that he's treading on raw nerves. That
the president calls it beautiful coal.
Beautiful coal. And they're not just shoveling coal into a furnace.
No.
Let's be clear on that.
It's a little more complicated.
Yes, exactly.
That's right. Nobody has a tougher job, though, than Jillian Mealy.